Hey, welcome back to the garage. I have been dying to do this video for a long time. Since I put this seat on the bike, I've been wanting to do this video. This is a Russell Daylong seat. This is a stock seat for a Goldwing, an OEM seat. Shout out to Aurora Honda for finding me this seat so I could do this video. This seat is considered one of the premier touring seats you can buy. It's a $2,000 seat for me because I ordered it special. Looks pretty. It's got the passenger done, it's got the driver done, the backrest done, it's got passenger backrest done, it's got the heat in it. So this is a fully loaded seat. It costs about what an OEM seat would cost if you bought it new. This isn't just a video for Goldwings. This Russell seat is made for just about every bike out there. They make them for Harleys, they make them for Victorys, Suzukis, Yamahas, you name it, they make them. And if you can't name it, you can send them your seat and they'll still make you a seat. They all have the same basic design and components. So they all have this wing, which is what spreads your weight out that makes this seat so much more comfortable for some people. Spoiler, my wife and I don't like this seat. We've had it now for 8,000 miles and it's just not a comfortable seat for us. I think I know why, and I'm gonna go into that a little bit later, but I have missed my return window. I may ride out there next year and have them fix the seat for me, I'm not sure. So we're gonna start with the OEM seat. Simply because it's just not that exciting. This is a standard tour seat from a Goldwing, so it's got the heated driver, heated passenger, heated backrest. It does have the backrest. If you have the bagger version, you don't get this. The material is it feels like a form of vinyl. I know it's waterproof and water repellent anyway. It beads up when it gets wet. The styling is, well, the styling, there's not much you can say about it. It matches the bike. It's got this cool sort of gray low light to it, highlight on both here and here, and on the sides, so it matches all three. So it looks pretty nice. It's got the Goldwing logo in the back in case that's something you're interested in. One of the cool things to note about this is the way they handle their seams. You'll note that their seams are stitched in a way that they overlap in the rain direction. So they tend to go away from where the rain would flow instead of pooling. The exception to that is right here on the backrest. So if you get rain here, it's gonna like roll down the seat this way. If you get over here, it'll roll this way. So it's actually fairly well thought out. I'm assuming that underneath of here, they have stitched this in a way that the water doesn't get through. It's a double stitch they do. The other cool thing is all the panel seams for the bike seats are internal seams. So they seam them on the inside and waterproof them so that where the panels come together, you don't get leakage. So this is the Russell Daylong seat. The way this works is you order from them, you ship your seat to them, they give you a production date in the future, you ship your seat to them, they ship you back your Russell Daylong seat. They strip your seat down to the stock seat. So the only thing left of your seat is the plastic that's in there. They rebuild the whole seat over it. What that means is there is no going back. Once you do this to your seat, there's no going back. So the ordering process is pretty straightforward. You go to their website, they've got a multi-step process laid out for you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. And they tell you exactly what you need to do for each step and how it's going to work. So one other cool thing you can do when you're ordering, and I ended up doing this, all the options were really confusing to me. There's a pricing grid and there's all these weird options. I don't know what I can do, what I can't do, because they build seats for everything. So I just called and they were super helpful. He walked me through, they actually filled the order form out for me. He talked me through all the options I had available. And so we were able to work it all out over the phone. You're gonna send them a picture of you on the bike, you with your feet down on the bike, and you and a passenger on the bike if you're worried about getting the passenger area done as well. They look at your pictures to determine your fit, and then they figure out how to move the seat for you up, down, forward, back, depending on where you sit. One of the important things in those pictures is to sit where you want to sit when you're riding. If you want to sit further forward, I didn't pay attention to this, they could have moved the seat pan forward for me so I would be further forward and my wife would have more space. The other option to do this, which is what I would have done had I known better, is you can make an appointment, you can drive your bike there and then they will do it for you while you wait. So they will build your seat, they'll look at you on the bike with your passenger, they'll do all the things they would do by email, But then they take your seat pan off, they go in the back and they build your seat and they hand it back to you, they put you on and they make sure everything fits. The cool thing there is you can do any adjustments you want to do right away, which is very, very cool. So here are the options I had for my seat. I did the driver's seat, I did the passenger seat, which is a separate option. I did the passenger backrest, and I did the driver backrest. So I got the full seat. I had OEM seat heaters, so I paid extra to keep the OEM seat heaters running in my seat. So they put them in here. They don't guarantee that they'll work, but they do put them in there. But all three of mine work, by the way, so not a big deal for me. The backrest is actually pretty cool because it goes in front to rear instead of top down, which is really nice because you can take it out, passenger climbs on, and you can slide it on a lot easier than the stock seat where you got to slide it down because they've got to get their legs out of the way. There's just a lot of things going on. So this is actually really cool. The fabric is a Sunbrella, so this is patio furniture fabric. It's very high durability, high wear stuff. It's not slippery like vinyl, and I don't like leather because it cracks and sun fading and all that stuff, so I didn't want to deal with that. I'm lazy. So this is Sunbrella. I had the crosshatch stitching put in it, so it looks really pretty. When it comes to styling, in my opinion, this seat totally destroys the stock seat for how it looks. This seat is, in my opinion again, is a very beautiful seat. It was built exactly how I like it, which is why everybody loves how their seat looks, because it's built exactly how you want it to look, not how the manufacturer thinks it should look. So I love this seat. It looks really cool to me. So let's talk about the functionality of the seat. You'll notice the common theme with all of their seats is this large wing area right here, and it's both front and rear. So what this does, if your load is larger, it spreads your load out over this area. So what happens is it takes all the pressure from your butt from this one little area and spreads it out across the seat, which is really nice in theory. When you get this seat, it is a brick. I'm here to tell you, I mean brick. You can't push these pieces down here, it's hard. Now, after 8,000 miles, this seat is very stiff. All the areas where you sit are really stiff. You can see that these areas up here feel nice and soft, but man, down here where you sit is a brick. I think that's intentional. I think the idea is, again, to spread your load out over a larger area. So that, I think, is the design. I don't like it. It doesn't work for me. So I wanted to do a side-by-side to show you the height difference in these seats. You can see there is a big jump from this seat to this seat. So the bottom of the seat sits about here. You're panned in when you sit down. You sink in a little bit, and these big lips are a bit deceptive, but you're a solid 1 to 2 inches higher, and they tell you that on their site. You're going to be up higher. This is great for taller riders, which means you can contact them when you're ordering and say, hey, you know, I'm 6'9", I need 3 or 4 extra inches of height on my seat, and they can bump this seat up there for you. That is one of the really cool things here. When you get it made, you can have it made to fit you. So if you're taller, you can get it taller. They obviously can't go any shorter, but this will raise you up 1 inch, 1.5 inches stock. So they don't warranty them for length. If you send them the pictures and you don't look short and they don't adjust it correctly, that's not on them, that's on you. So make sure your pictures are accurate and reflect it, and communicate. Tell them, hey, I'm tall, give me a taller seat. Looking straight down on the seats, OEM, Russell DeLong, RDL. I want to do some quick measurements so we can compare. You'll note that when you're sitting on the RDL, you're automatically moved up to here because of this riser line right here. But you can see where your butt sits, or where my butt sits. And you've got a solid 18 inches across here to sit on. You know, realistically, your seating area is probably about 12 inches wide right here. But you can see this is pretty wide. Compare that to the stock seat, 16 inches, and your butt, you know, is gonna sit in here, so 12 inches. So you get 2 extra inches of width right here. The important thing is the lift. As I covered earlier, if your load is larger than other people's load, then you will spread out over this and that will shift your weight outward, which will really help you a ton, I think. Now from front to rear, this seat is 14.5 on the center line, roughly 14.5. So that's how much space you have in the driver's cab. And it's 15 on this one, so you've got an extra ½ inch, but realistically, you're not going to get all the way back here. I don't think. You might if you crush this down enough. And again, you can see here, measurably, this hump piece right here really locks you into the position. I think some people really like that. I do not, because I ride more forward. So when I'm sitting on this seat, this crushes parts I'd rather not be crushed when I shift too far forward. So let's take a look at the passenger area. Again, you'll note that dished out feeling. So your passenger sits back here, they get the same thing you do. Their load gets spread over a wider area. They have these wings to help support them. My wife does like the little more locked in feel she gets from this. She doesn't get as much shifting when she's riding. So let's check this out. Side to side, we're at 16.5 inches across this center line here. Whereas on this seat, we're at about 14.5. So this is also about 2 inches wider than the stock seat. But it's dished out, so you can't actually use all that, again, unless you have enough load, I can't think of a better word, that it spreads out sideways. My wife and I both do not have that. We're both fairly narrow-hipped for whatever reason. The passenger cabin, so the seat when it comes in goes right to here. So the passenger cabin here is, 10 inches, 10.5 inches from here to here, because you're going to be forced into right here. Where on this seat, you get to use the whole seat, so you're about 12 inches. So, you know, you're 1.5 inches shy on this seat, but I don't know that it really matters functionally because nobody sits all the way back here. Their butt sits here. So this is where you're likely to sit anyway. What you'll note here, and why this doesn't work for us, is this, you will note I'm really pushing down on this to get, you know, 3/4 of an inch, ½ inch deflection. If I'm on the stock seat, I can easily sink that 1 inch in there. And I'm betting when this breaks in, it's even more. So this seat is softer than the Russell, but being narrower means you have more weight in the same amount of area. So I don't know that it's going to matter a whole lot if you would fill this seat out. I don't. I only come out to about here when I'm sitting on here. I figured this out when I was filming another video. There's actually a gap right here between my butt and this seat. I don't actually spread out to here, which is also why these wings aren't really broken in on the sides. And this is my wife's seat. My wife weighs a lot less than I do. And this is 8,000 miles, so she's put all these miles on this bike too. And you can see that really pushing, I can get maybe a ½ inch of deflection here. On the OEM seat, again, I'm looking at like 1 inch here, ½ inch to 1 inch easily. It's over a smaller area, so if you have a wider spread, then it's gonna feel like you have more support, or it's softer. If you're narrower, then the OEM seat is gonna feel softer because you're not taking advantage of all this extra surface area, and they stiffen up this butt pad. They have a great warranty, so if you have an issue, you can talk to them and you get twice. You can ship it back. I could ship this back to them and say, hey, this seat is too stiff, ship it back, and they would make it softer and ship it back to me. But I gotta pay to ship it there. I don't know if you gotta pay to ship it back, but shipping it there is like 150 bucks. I guess I don't have to do the backrest, maybe 100 bucks. These are big seats. You can't ship these in little boxes. So I would ship it to them and they would check it out and see if they can make it softer. They would make it softer, they would ship it back to me. And if I didn't like it the second time, maybe it was not quite soft enough or whatever, I'd have to pay again. So you're talking another, you know, $150 to $300 into an already very expensive seat. And as I said on my other video, as a percentage of value of the bike, this is a very expensive purchase. This is $2 grand. on a $30,000 bike. That's a lot of money. So the question is, does it make the ride that much better for you? All right, so let's wrap this up. We've got the RDL and the OEM seat. Would I order the RDL again? Absolutely. I would just do it very differently than I did it this time around. I would go to Russell and spend the day there having them make the seat. That is the way to certainly have it perfect for you and your passenger so it fits you ideally. Second to that is being very clear when you communicate them things you like and don't like on a seat. This seat is very hard, and because my hips are narrow and my wife's hips are narrow, we push down on the seat very hard. We don't spread out enough to distribute the weight, so this seat is actually softer for us. I would have had them make this seat a lot softer, maybe even more plush. So be very clear with what you like and don't like when you're ordering it. I may go back to an OEM seat yet, not decided. Have a great one, keep your wheels down, ride safe.